Most people think life slows down after 60, but today, we're uncovering 10 extraordinary people who became icons long after society thought they were past their prime. Stick around until the end, because number 1 on this list will absolutely change how you see aging forever. 10. Morgan Freeman. When you hear Morgan Freeman's voice, you immediately know who it is: calm, wise, commanding. But here's the shocker. Freeman didn't achieve true stardom until well into his 50s. For decades, he worked in theater, small TV roles, and even children's shows. By the time he was in his 40s, he was still largely unknown to mainstream audiences. But in 1989, at age 52, he got his breakthrough with Driving Miss Daisy. And at 67, he won the Academy Award for $1 Million Baby. Today, he's considered one of the greatest actors of all time. His story reminds us that patience and persistence can lead to global recognition, even if it takes half a lifetime. 9. Grandma Moses. Anna Mary Robertson Moses, better known as Grandma Moses, is proof that creativity knows no age. She spent most of her life as a farmer's wife, raising children and working the land. Painting was just a hobby she dabbled in. But in her late 70s, arthritis made it hard for her to do farm work, so she turned seriously to painting. By the age of 80, her folk art was being exhibited in New York City galleries. She became a global sensation, producing over 1,500 paintings, many after the age of 90. When asked why she started so late, she simply said, "I didn't have time before." Inspiring, right? 8. Colonel Harlan Sanders. Everyone knows the smiling face of Colonel Sanders from the KFC bucket, but few realize that his journey to success didn't start until he was 65. Before KFC, Sanders worked as a farmhand, streetcar conductor, insurance salesman, and even ran a gas station. He faced countless failures and business setbacks. At 65, with nothing but a $105 Social Security check, he began franchising his fried chicken recipe. Within a decade, Kentucky Fried Chicken became one of the most recognizable food brands in the world. Sanders proved that sometimes your big break comes at the very moment most people are ready to retire. 7. Rodney Dangerfield. Comedy legend Rodney Dangerfield is remembered for his iconic line, "I don't get no respect." But his career didn't take off until much later in life. He struggled for years in stand-up, quit to sell aluminum siding, and nearly gave up on comedy. Then, in his 40s and 50s, he returned to the stage. But his big break came when he was well past 60, appearing regularly on The Tonight Show and starring in movies like Caddyshack. By then, his unique self-deprecating humor had the world laughing and respecting him more than ever. 6. Peter Mark Roget. Here's a name you might not recognize, but you've definitely used his work. Peter Mark Roget was a physician and inventor, but at age 73, he published something extraordinary, Roget's Thesaurus. Yes, the very book writers, poets, and students still rely on today. His lifelong love of words turned into a masterpiece of reference that became a staple worldwide. Imagine creating something so timeless in your 70s. 5. Laura Ingalls Wilder. You may know her as the author of Little House on the Prairie. But here's the twist. Laura Ingalls Wilder didn't publish her first book until she was 65. Before that, she lived as a pioneer, teacher, and farmer. She wrote down stories of her childhood, never imagining they'd one day become global bestsellers. Her books went on to inspire generations and even became a classic TV series. At an age when many people retire, Laura was just beginning her career as a world-famous author. 4. Harry Bernstein. Harry Bernstein spent his entire life working odd jobs and writing stories that were repeatedly rejected. For decades, no one paid attention to his work. But at 96, yes, you heard that right, he published his first successful book, The Invisible Wall, a memoir about his childhood in a divided town. It became a bestseller. He went on to publish more books in his late 90s, proving it is never too late to share your story. 3. Kathryn Joosten. Kathryn Joosten spent much of her adult life working as a nurse and raising her family. Acting was a dream she had put on the shelf, but in her 40s and 50s, she started taking small acting roles. It wasn't until she was in her 60s that her career truly exploded. She became beloved as Mrs. Landingham on The West Wing, and later won 2 Emmy Awards for a role on Desperate Housewives. She once said, "It's never too late to be what you might have been," and her career was living proof. 2. Fauja Singh. Not all success comes in Hollywood or books. Some comes on the track. Meet Fauja Singh, who started running marathons at age 89. Yes, 89. By 100. He became the first centenarian to finish a full marathon, inspiring athletes worldwide. Known as a turban tornado, he didn't even start running seriously until after 80. His story shows that physical success, too, has no age limit. 1. Vera Wang. Finally, number 1, Vera Wang. Today, she's a fashion icon, dressing celebrities and brides across the globe. But Wang didn't even enter the fashion world until she was 40. And her true fame? That came after 60, when her wedding gowns became the most sought after in the world. She transformed an entire industry and is still designing into her 70s. Her journey reminds us, even if your first dream doesn't work out, it's never too late to start again and to become legendary. So the next time you think it's too late, remember these incredible stories. Morgan Freeman, Grandma Moses, Colonel Sanders, Laura Ingalls Wilder. People who found their greatest success after 60. Their message is clear. Age is just a number, but passion and persistence are timeless. If this inspired you, smash that like button, subscribe for more stories of ageless success, and share this video with someone who needs a reminder that it's never too late to follow their dreams.